And it wasn't until I retired that I started to understand that the feelings that I have, those are valid feelings. I was sitting with a good friend of mine today, and like many of you, I feel like I have to put on a tough facade. I think being a man, and I was having this conversation with another buddy of mine the other day. I think as a man, I never felt like, and I was never socialized to express my feelings. And one of the areas that I started to really focus on was expressing my feelings, because I think feelings matter. And going to work every day, dealing with all the bullshit at work, I always kept that inside. I never felt like I could express that. I didn't talk about how it made me feel because I felt like somehow it made me feel weak. And it wasn't until I retired that I started to understand that the feelings that I have, those are valid feelings. It doesn't mean that I'm weak. It doesn't mean that I'm soft. It doesn't mean that I'm not as tough as the next person and can't deal with adversity. But what it means is that I'm human. And it wasn't until I retired that I had the capacity to really understand that and understand the impact that some of my previous jobs have had on me as a human being, and who I am and who I've become over time. And so part of the biggest thing that's happened to me during my early retirement is it gave me the opportunity to heal. And it's not until you get out of that environment and you build that capacity to really think about your life in a different way that you start to identify some of those things. And I was healing from burnout. I was healing from work trauma. I was healing from the constant pressure to prove myself. Because when anybody else would do something, it was great. But when I said something, I always had to prove that it was true.